Jimmy Mack alongside Dan Cronin here as we have a special Saturday edition of the Odds Couple show here at the track.
Big day today. I hope everybody's ready to fire.
Huge day. I'm ready to fire. I bought some extra balloons today to fire away, and fortunate enough last night made a little money here at the track, and we'll try to keep things going here on this 12-race Jeff Ruby card. And now we have a couple of different bets this afternoon that we generally don't have. We have two pick fives, one of those being an all-stakes pick five, and that looks like a great betting sequence.
I can't wait to go through that. That's a big-time racing sequence right there. If you like to bet, those 5 stakes races are tough races.
Yeah, they are, and should be some sizable pools. And looking at it, I guess if you single maker with someone like a Hot Brown, the favorite in the Ruby, that allows you to spread, but you do really have to spread because every one of those races you're going to need coverage.
Yeah, I like the Neverland, and then I like Hot Brown. And then in between, you just got to take as many as you can put in your budget.
Right.
Because anything can happen in other races.
I agree. So maybe we can make some money early in on the card. Now, I know there's a couple of scratches in the first, and one of those affected our picks, but there's still a couple I like. I think the pick 5 early, I think you can get away with a little shorter budget than the late ones, but we'll get right into our picks here. 57 minutes to post on Ruby Stake Day 2019, first race, maiden 3-year-old special weight to go 6 furlongs. There are a couple of defections. Number 4 and 8 are both out. I ended up going with a first-time starter here. I wasn't crazy about the one, drawing the rail, and the horse was 6 beating 11 lengths, an okay race on debut, but I'm going for the first-time starter, Mr. Blue Sky. The mare was a stakes winner and has produced a couple of stakes placed horses, but out of line of David. Now, Robbie Radcliffe, a lot of people don't know him. He can have one ready. He's a really good trainer. He came up under, actually worked for several guys, but was with Danny Hutt, the late Danny Hutt, before he went out on his own. But you see he trains for some pretty good connections here. Usually we see these guys with, another trainer, but Billy Dinsick. But Robbie Radcliffe's got this one, been training. You don't know what to make the works at High Point, but I know in a race on the horses that's ran, they've proven they're not that talented.
Do you usually want a first-timer to have a work at Turfway? That was the only thing that it made me pause. No work at Turfway.
Well, you like to see it, but I don't mind him coming off that track because we've seen Pat Huffman crush here all the time. He comes out of there. Billy Dinsick comes out of there. Steve Dunn, Wayne Minnick. So a lot of guys, Grant Hoffman. So there's a lot of guys that train over that track, and they have other options. They do have an artificial polytrack, if you will, track there at High Point. Not this one we see the works, but they have like an uphill, they call it an uphill gallop, kind of European style out there that they can't work over, but they can train over.
Right. Well, I just looked at the screen here, and that's not accurate. The first race with the scratch of the 8, my top pick's the 5. Now, you got the 5 third. I don't really like this race that much. It's kind of a spread race for me. The horses that are on the screen, I'm taking them all. I'm going to take the 1, the 2, the 5, and the 7 to start the pick 5. I don't like the rail. Or I'd probably single the 1.
Right, I'm in agreement. I just
because of the rail,
right.
I got to spread.
That's why I look for another option as well. So I'm going to go 7-1-5. You're going to go 5-2-1, but you're going to use the 7 as well in your pick 5 here in the opener. Start of the early pick 5. Dan's going 5-2-1, as you'll see. I'm going to go 7-1-5. Put those 4 together, and let's start a pick 5 and make some money here early. You can even bet the rolling doubles. I expect them to pay pretty good today. Even the pick 3s. We got a lot of coverage here today at the track, and the pool should be very, very good. That brings us to race 2. No pick 4 in race 2 because we'll have 3 of those later on in the card. 2 of those being all stakes pick 4s, and one of those will be the final 4 races on the card. But the second race, another maiden special weight for sophomores, going a mile. How'd you see this?
Well, I think this is where you can make a decision as a smaller player, because I think the 3, Elvis the Cat, looks really good in here. But if you think you got a better single somewhere else, I can understand going to the 2, Fort Ramsey on just a guess.
Right.
Maker and Ramsey, first-time starter, going long. Maybe the horse can run a little bit. Tyler did take the mount. I mean, he's up here for the big race, but you didn't have to ride this horse.
Right.
So he takes the mount. And then I thought the 7, Hopped Up, was the other horse. But I'm going to make extra tickets with Elvis the Cat. I love horses that had the rail in their first start, sprinting here, and showed speed. So now he's got the 3-hole. Now we're going 2 turns. I mean, barring getting left in the gate, doesn't this horse have to be in front?
I think so, unless one of the first-time starters are very rapid out of there. But I like the horse too. I took a shot with the firster just because of the connections. Fort Larned, son of Fort Larned, owned by the Ramsey, trained by Maker. Like you said, you get Gaffleone. The mare, I couldn't find any information on the mare ever running. This is her first full to race, so not much lineage to go on, but I like the connection. So I'm going to go 2-3. I like the horse you mentioned, the 7, hopped up 2 for the pick 5. I'm going to throw in the 5 against the line. Was second, beat 3 lengths to Artemis Bridge, who we'll see later on in the card and has a big shot here tonight. So he's coming out of a good race. This is another race that's wide open, I think, and I'm going to spread there as well in race number 2. Now the third race is in love and memory of Rick Schneider. This is allowance optional claimer. It's an A other than for the boys. $25,000 claimant tag. Will race a mile. There are 2 scratches in there. Numbers 1 and 6 are both out. And this is a race I thought you could make a case for a couple of horses, but you probably could go short. I see we got the same picks there, 4, 5, and 3.
Wow, we never have the same picks. So that's good. But yeah, the 4 Mount Calvary. I'm going to single in a couple tickets, and then I'll take the 4, 5 in a couple tickets. It's a really peculiar entry for me on the 5, Mike Maker, because this is a non-winners of 2 life horse and against open winners. So why would you enter that horse? And then you're going to be 2-1 anyway, and you're way out of condition. But is the horse just class and it don't matter?
Maybe his numbers stack up.
Yeah, his numbers are right there. So, I can't single the 5. I like the 4 better.
Yeah, those 16 non-2s at Gulfstream, that's basically the bottom.
Right.
Down there, non-2. Maybe they run a 12-5, I'm not sure. But I'm like you. I love the 4 Mount Calvary. And another upside of this horse, I think there's a ton of speed in the race it sets up for him.
Yeah, I agree. There's speed in here, and this horse should get the perfect poly stalking trip, come wide, run them down in the lane. I think Mount Calvary is a potential single, especially for smaller players in that early pick 5.
All right, there you have it, 4, 5, 3 for the both of us, and we're both in agreement on the 4 Mount Calvary as our standout pick there. Now the 4th race, it's a maiden special weight again for 3-year-olds, but this time we'll see the filly versions, and they'll go 6 furlongs. There is a scratch of number 5 Fleetress and number 8 Club Car. In race 4, numbers 5 and 8 are out. I'll let you kick this one off too. This does start a rolling pick 3 and also rolling daily double, but good quality field here. How'd you see it?
Well, it goes against everything that I like, right? The 2 and the 4 are both on the inside.
2's been on the inside every time.
The 2 just can't get a break.
Right.
I mean, this horse has looked like the winner on paper, 3 straight races, and then keeps drawing bad and keeps getting bad trips. Yeah. So now he's going to get another bad trip, right? She's on the rail. She's going to get a bad trip again, and she's going to be 2-1.
Same rider, yeah.
So it just depends on your budget, pick 5-wise, what you want to do. My top pick's the 4. I love Tommy Drury. Johnny McKee's just burning up the track here the last couple months. The horse just got nipped last time. I think the 4 is the horse, but in the pick 5, I'm going to have the 2, 4, 6, and 11 because the 5 and 8 are out.
Yeah.
I picked up I ended up going to the 6 as like a long shot to try to catch a price in the pick 5. But if you made me bet one horse, I would bet the 4.
Yeah, I like the horse too. In fact, we're on the same 3 numbers there, just in slightly different order. But my top pick, again, the same as you, for all the same reasons there. Number 4, Love is Alive, 3-1 on the morning line. And I went to the outside, number 11, Out Till Dawn from the Colebrook stable. This one has some decent pedigree. Did fire off a 48-2 drill at Keeneland last start. I like 10-1 in a field. After I get away from the 2 and 4, I can't make anything.
If the 2 and 4 were in the 9 and 10 post,
be different, yeah.
I just take those 2 and be done with it. But I'm just so scared of the inside sprinting here. I wanted to have a couple horses towards the outside. And the 11, who knows? I mean, a horse might just be really good.
Right. Well, those are the numbers we're using. We're in agreement again, just a different order. So hopefully, if we're right, you're right. So we'll head on to the 5th race as we take a look at the 5th race where Turfway Park is so proud to support the TAA, the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, sponsoring race 5. This is a filly and mare, A other than, optional $25,000 claimer. They'll go 6 furlongs. There are several scratches in race 5. Numbers 2, 4, 5, 8, 9 are all out. The 13 does run. I think the 3, Sugar, 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 once again is a standout. In fact, I am going to single this horse in the race on the majority of my tickets. If I go short in a couple other races, I'll probably add the 13 in here. After that, I don't like anybody else. And the 13's taken a step up in class, but is a 5-time synthetic winner. Manly crushes everywhere he goes. But number 3, Sugar, Sugar, Sugar. She's won this exact same condition twice in a row. One time she ran for the tag. Last start she was in for the A other than condition, and now she's back in for the quarter. There's nothing for me not to like. She is breaking from the 2 post going short, but I think there's a little bit of speed. I think she'll be able to take back and come around. I'm putting her on top of the 13 and an 11.
I think the key here with Sugar is Machado. He's really good. He knows this track. He knows how to ride. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to let them all break. He's going to drop back. He's going to get outside, and he's going to come around. If he stays inside, this horse is in deep trouble. He can't sit on the rail pinned in 5th or 6th and can't get out the whole backside. Then you got a problem. But I like Sugar the best too. But I thought all the 4 outside horses had chances. So if you've got the budget in the pick 5, I would really enjoy having the 10, 11, 12, 13 also on my ticket, because we got all the outside horses. The 12 is going to be a big price.
Huge.
The 13 is going to be a decent price, and they both can win.
Right.
I mean, the numbers here, Dylan did it, 63, 65, 63. That's not far off.
No.
So if he gets the perfect, typical outside trip sprinting, this horse could upset the whole thing in the pick 5. And I mean, I just can't be singled to Sugar, because I think the horse is going to be 6-5.
Right.
And I want to have a couple chances. And I think the 10, Tempestuous Amy's got a big shot. The 11's got a big shot. The 13's going to hold price because a lot of people will be out there drinking, not even know the horse is in.
Right.
So pay attention. The 13 is in. You got to add that horse to your tickets, I think.
Yeah, me too. 3, 10, 11 for Dan, 3, 13, 11 for me, and we're gonna spread here in a couple of our pick 5 tickets again. You can follow along on social media at Turfway Park, also Fat Ball Guy Racing for our picks here today. Now the 6th race is where we kick off our stake action. Race 6 starts a pick 4. It's the first of 3 pick 4s. And it is the 33rd edition of the Animal Kingdom, and this is a really good race. I think there's a standout in here for me. You can go ahead and kick things off and see how close we are again.
Okay. All things being equal,
Okay.
ignoring the post positions,
Okay.
I think the 1, Armistice Day, is the best horse.
Okay.
But on the rail,
Can't ignore that.
6.5 on the rail, July 18th, last start, going to have to come around them. So I went to the 6, Artemis Bridge, as kind of a price play to try to beat the 1. The 2's obvious also, Wesley Ward. Bayerano, I call him the Banjo Man. I think he's one of the best riders in the country. We're lucky to have him here today. And I think one of those 3 have to win, 1, 2, or 6. I understand taking more horses in the pick 4 if you're just trying to catch an upset. But I don't know where else to go.
I agree.
1, 2, and 6 seem to be the horses to me.
For me, this is the race for the upset. I threw it out. I threw the post position out other than the 1. I might have used him a little further, but I don't think it's going to bother the 2 that much. Hawaiian Noises now. This one's by Super Saver out of the mare last of the summer wine. That mare has thrown 3 stake winners. Conquest, I think Panther, Happy Like a Fool, Maniacal. So very good breeding on here for number 2, Hawaiian Noises. Wesley always comes prepared to run on the big days, or every day rather, but I like the horse. I think the horse is a standout, in here. I do like Artemis Bridge. I did put him 2nd. Was a dominant winner here last start, and then the 1. If he didn't have the 1 hole, I probably would have put him up higher. But he is coming off a layoff, drawing the rail. I'm going to put him 3rd. I'm going 2, 6, 1. I will use all 3 of those in my multi-race wagers as well.
Yep. Same way for me.
Now the 7th race. This is where things get fun. All stakes, pick 5, race 7. We kick it off with the 37th running of the Latonia Stakes. It's for older fillies and mares to go a mile. And a pretty good race here, and I think you got to spread like butter.
Well, I'm going to spread, but I'm also going to bet on a horse.
Okay.
Because I love Fizzy Friday.
Is this the one you gave out last night?
Last night I gave him out.
All right. For those of you who wasn't here last night, Dan gave this horse out for the people that couldn't be here. But if you weren't here last night, tell them about your horse here, Fizzy Friday, 10-1.
Fizzy Friday, 10-1, is run on the poly track 3 times. 2 wins and an almost 3rd win, runs 2nd. So has never been worse than 2nd, 3 poly trips. Has the class, has the stalking ability, does not have to drop way back. Like the ride last time, we can't show the video, but if you go back on your phone and watch that Gulfstream race, this horse is a stalker. He tanks this horse all the way in the back. She had no chance from there. only got beat 4 lengths in a big-time race. So I think this horse is going to sit mid-pack. I think she's going to blast home. And unless somebody comes from over the top, I really, really like Fizzy Friday to win this race. We're not going to get 10 to 1, probably, hopefully 6 or 7 to 1, but I'll take that all day.
And you're putting her on top. Now, right now, there's no weather in town yet, but it has called for it in the forecast. Rain showing up somewhere around 2 o'clock throughout most of the card. Now, does that change your handicapping? Will you go and adjust, will you watch a couple of the races? And if, we've seen this track sometimes when we get heavy rain where the speed is
exactly.
pretty conducive
If it starts
speed.
to rain, we got to watch for the speed horses a little bit. And if a couple of them start to win, then you got to add the 4 in here, I think. Eco, I think it's pronounced or something. I mean, the horse will be up near the pace, has a big chance. I don't like the 6. Now, I know a lot of people are talking about the 6 here, or Shetty, I think it's pronounced. That's not my kind of horse. Coming out of 5 furlongs, going a mile against a really good field. I mean, she's going to have to go all the way with pressure all the way. I just don't see her hanging on.
Yeah, I didn't use her either. I ended up putting number 3, Princess Warrior, on top. Now, I will add her in my pick 4s and 5 just because I'm going to spread so deep. But I went for the 3, Princess Warrior, on top for BJ Hernandez and Kenny McPeak. And then for second, I went to number 12, Silence On. It has some pretty good numbers, been facing exclusively stake action. Was facing Ontario, Canadian breds up there. But it was a great 2-2 backwards, second beat in the length. Has made almost $150,000 on the synthetic. And I'm going to use her second. And then third, Susie B. Mike Maker, Calumet Farm, good connections. Will sit a good stalking trip as well, just like your top pick, Fizzy Friday. 3-12-7 for me, 9-7-3 for him. Dan really loves the 9, Fizzy Friday, at $10.
$20. Pray for $20.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
You got the pick 5 starting. You got the pick 4 in the 6th race. Should be in the second leg. I mean, you can get a $20 horse. You're looking at boxcars.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at least throw her in on your tickets.
And that brings us to the 8th race, the 32nd running of the DRF Bets Rush Away $75,000 guaranteed stake event for 3-year-olds to go a mile and 16th. I think we're in agreement here on a horse in here we both like a lot.
My best bet of the day. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a price by the time we all talk about it, but On the Way to Neverland, right? How in the world is anybody going to, if the horse don't get left in the gate, pops the gate, runs to the first turn, clears them, I don't know if anybody gets near this horse.
Yeah, maybe some people might be skeptical. You concerned about the distance, mile and 16th.
Well, I mean, 7.5 at Gulfstream's a route.
Yeah.
So I don't see why he wouldn't route again. I mean, that race down the hill at Santa Anita is just a gigantic race, and gets nipped right on the wire. I think the pace will be nice and easy for him. I think this horse is gone. I'm praying for $6, but realistically, we're probably going to get $3.80.
Well, we might be able to get $6 in the multi-race wager. So
exactly.
We're gonna use this horse on top. I'm in agreement. I love the horse as well. And I'm going to use a horse for second that's going to be a big price. The local horse, Overprotective, puts the blinkers on today. And I know a little bit about this horse, watching him train here and run all winter and
He's
spring.
got a chance.
He's got a big chance.
Yeah,
and
he's
since
got a
they
big
put the
chance.
blinkers on him, he's been a different horse in the morning in his works. And I look for a huge effort from that horse today at 10 to 1. And then I'm going to use Federal All, son of Scat Daddy, for Mark Cassie, Gary Boulanger in to ride. This one never been worse than second on the synthetic, made almost $75,000. I'm going 8-5-4 as my top 3.
I think this is a perfect superfecta race. You take the 8 on top, take the 4, 5, and 6, second and third, put all fourth, flip them, put all third, and just keep repeating it. For 10 cents, it don't cost anything.
No.
And if you can get the 5 in there in the second or third hole, it could pay decent. So
yes.
I'm going to play the super in there. I love on the way to never. I don't think they have any chance to beat this horse. If the Banjo Man don't get him left.
There you go.
Don't get left, Banjo.
So that's Dan's best bet of the day in the 8th race, number 8, On the Way to Neverland. We've got through 8 races, still 4 to come. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to pause for the singing of our national anthem, and we'd like you to welcome in Maddie Rose, the leader of the Maddie Rose Band, a local band based here in Cincinnati, as she sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
How about it, ladies and gentlemen? Maddie Rose, leader of the Maddie Rose Band based out of Greater Cincinnati. She is open for such artists as Daryl Singletary and John King, and we appreciate her here this afternoon. Folks, welcome in to this 12-race Ruby Card. Wonderful day of racing here from Florence, Kentucky. If you'll take out your racing forms and programs, I'll give you today's late program changes. First race, start of the early pick 5. There are 2 scratches, number 4, Go Getter, and number 8, U.S. Warrior, both scratch. First race numbers 4 and 8 are out. No changes in race 2. In the third race, scratch number 1, El Benito. Scratch number 6, Lieutenant Colonel. Third race numbers 1 and 6 are withdrawn. In the fourth race, jockey change on the 1A CC My Sis. Make that rider Alexis Ashard. Waive the apprenticeship allowance, correct the weight to 122 pounds. Scratch number 5, Fleetress. And scratch number 8, Club Car. Fifth race, several changes, sharpen your pencils. Scratch number 2, Sweet Ruthie. Scratch the 4, Miss Pinkerton. Scratch the 5, Dial Me. Scratch number 8, B-Balm. Scratch number 9, Tia Floor. And be aware that the 13 draws in does race. The 13 will run. Sixth race kicks off stakes action here. And there are no changes in the Animal Kingdom. Sixth race is clear. Seventh race, the Latonia Stakes. There are a couple of changes. Scratch number 11, Awesome Gal. The 13 does race. And scratch number 14, Ethel Ether. Ethel Ether is out. No changes in the DRF Bets Rush Away. That goes as race 8. Race 8 is clear. Race number 9, the Kubota Kentucky Cup Classic. There's a jockey change in the 5, Surgical Strike, to Rafael Bejarano. Bejarano picks up the 5, Surgical Strike. Race number 10, the Maxim Crane Works Bourbonette Oaks, the $100,000 guaranteed stake event for 3-year-old fillies. Scratch number 1, Crafty's Dream. Number 1, Crafty's Dream is out. The 11th and featured race, the 48th edition of the Jeff Ruby Stakes Grade 3 $200,000 guaranteed stake event. No changes, all 11 will go with no program changes. 12th and final race, scratch number 8, Accolade. Number 8, Accolade, is out of race 12. Folks, those are the changes at this time. Any changes coming in throughout the balance of the card, I'll get those to you as they do so. 33 minutes to post. Good luck. Hello once again, race fans. Track announcer Jimmy McNerney alongside ace handicapper Dan Cronin. As we take a look, we got through the first 8 races on the card. We're going to go through the final 4 races, and race 9 starts the final pick 4 on the card. It's the 19th edition of the Kubota Kentucky Cup Classic $100,000 route stake here to go on a mile and 1/8. Who'd you like in here?
I thought this might be the toughest race on the card. I went to Sniper Kitten to 2 just because I think he's getting better and better. The Kitten's Joy on the poly, to me, is a huge angle. Good post position to sit mid-pack, work his way off the rail, come flying home. I like the 2. Nonetheless, the 1 would be my next horse, and then Midnight Pleasure would be my 3rd horse. A little concerned about the distance with Midnight Pleasure, but he did get it last time, so hopefully with a little bit better horses in here, he'll be able to get it. But I'm 2-1-4, but I'm using the 5-6 in the pick 4s and pick 5s also.
I'm using the 5 and 6 as well. And that race that Midnight Pleasure ran last time, it was kind of a weird race. He was up and after the pace, then took back. You thought he was finished, and all of a sudden he came rolling again.
Yeah.
And
really
just got
weird
over, but
trip. And my single just got home at Gulfstream, so we're rolling. Let's just keep this rolling.
Money's coming in. Money goes to money is what they say, though.
Do you agree it's a spread race just like me?
I agree. I'm
Okay.
using all but 2 horses in there. But top pick for me, number 2, Sniper Kitten. Makers won this race a couple of times. All the same reasons. The horse to get a good stalking trip. And is 7-2 on the morning line. I did use number 6, Royal Sun, for second. I think this horse loves the track and was 3rd beating 5 lengths last start to Nonetheless, who I'm going to use as well. Cipriano Contreras just crushing here. I've been talking about him last year and this year. He's finally coming through like I said he would here. And Nonetheless, he won the Prairie Bayou going to mile 16th and took him to Oaklawn in the Grade 3 Razorback. And didn't get beat all that bad, just got beat 6 lengths, and I think this horse on the return here, he's here for a reason, and it is a wide open race for me also. I'm spreading.
Are you a little concerned with Nonetheless at this distance?
No.
You think at the mile and 1/8 he'll be able to get it?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I think this horse, the further the better for me. The only thing is, I do think there's a lot of speed. Lanier's going to be up and after it. I don't know what John McKee's going to do with Midnight Pleasure again. The horse should be out there, and Royal Sun's fresh, but Sir Dudley Diggs, he's probably the faster of the 2 maker horses, I think. I don't know. The pace setup is kind of odd here.
It's a tough race.
Yeah. You definitely got. That's what you got written there. Spread. So we're going to spread out in there. That's a late pick 4. It is in the sequence of the other pick 4s and the other pick 5. So you're going to want to add some coverage there.
Yeah, you don't want to blow and mess up 3 bets.
Right.
So you just spread out and hope you got the field covered, and then go shorter in the 11th and 12th. I think.
Me too, but race 10, I don't think you can go very short in there. I'm spreading as well. That is the 37th running of the Maxim Crane Works Bourbonnette Oaks, $100,000 filly 3-year-olds to go a mile. And there is a scratch of the 1, Crafty's Dream. Wide open race for me. I am putting number 5 Into Trouble on top. gets Rafael Mojica up top. The horse has some, the numbers stack up in here. It actually, that probably has the best buyers and thorough manager numbers if you use those as well. Was a winner of her first two. She won the Arlington Western Lassie, so she has synthetic form. Came back in Alcibiades and didn't run that good, but was second in the Gasparilla down at Tampa. That was a pretty good field that day. I'm using her. I also like the 2 Naughty Joker for Wesley. Then I'm going to go for the 9 Unapologetic Me. And if you're spreading, I'm going to add the 3, 6, 10, 12 as well.
Well, you got it covered with all those.
I hope.
But that's what you have to do here, right? I mean, I like Into Trouble too, and that'll be a key for me in rolling doubles to try to get some of our top picks home and just keep cashing those rolling doubles. But Into Trouble, if she runs back to that Arlington Stake race, doesn't she have to be on the wire?
Supposed to.
I mean, she's supposed to be on this wire, with just a normal trip. But I thought the 2 had a big chance in there, Naughty Joker. I thought Birdie had a chance, the 3. Red Rounder had a chance, the 6. I mean, this is one of those races where I'll make extra tickets with my top pick, but I will have a ton of them in the pick 4s and 5s. You just have to.
Yeah, I agree. Good quality card. I like these cards because if you're right, you're going to get paid today.
Yeah.
Today of all days, you'll get paid if you're right, and just hopefully key in on the right horses when you go short. Now, that takes us to race 11, the 48th running of the Grade 3 Jeff Ruby Stakes. The reason why we are all here, $200,000 guaranteed. I've seen every edition of this race but one since I've been alive, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited. Field of 11, we didn't lose any horses in the race. There's no scratches. Good quality betting race. All the money's going to be on the 10, and deservedly so. Something like it, Hot Brown 8-5 on the morning line.
I think it's his race to win or lose. If Tyler breaks him, sits him 3rd or 4th on the outside, don't get a straw in your path, and roars on the turn, I think the horse is going to win. I think the bet is the Superfecta again, because I think Curlin Gray, who's going to be somewhere around 10-1, is going to hit the board. I think the horse is begging for a 1 1/8. Kenny McPeak trains him like that. The further, the better. I think this horse is going to sit back. This horse is going to blast home. And if you have 10 with the 9, with whoever else you like, and then put them 3rd, I think you can hit a really solid Superfecta that way, and that's the way I'm going to play it.
I agree.
I think 5-Star General's got a chance for Delacour, the 3. I'm totally against the 6. If the 6 wins, I will not have the pick 5, and I will not have the pick 4.
6 wins, you lose.
I lose. If Skywire wins, I lose. And I know he's going to be 3-1. A little sprint at Woodbine, ran okay, off the turf at Gulfstream against me and you, basically, and win by 6. So I don't know how good this horse is.
Right.
This is a major jump up in class to me.
It's a good, solid race, and I'm in agreement with you on the 10, something like it, Hot Brown. 307 a Big Brown. Now, this one did have a straw on his path last time. He didn't have the greatest of trips. It was in along the rail the whole way, was actually steady and in behind horses, and, once he was allowed to have free run, went ahead and run away from the field. But, I think today, I don't mind the added distance today. But Skywire, I'm going to use Skywire as well. And then I'm going to throw in number 4, Dabo, on my exotic tickets. Now, I hope people pay attention and notice that this race not only
hit the board for sure.
It doesn't only have, yes, he will, I think. It don't have Superfecta, just Superfecta. It's Super High 5. We never see it, but because of this race, I hope they play along because I want to play it. I want to put some like it Hot Brown on, then spread, as much as I can. And I think Dabo can be on the ticket. Yeah. Should have been second last start. Came flying. Gets an extra 1/8 of a mile today. Positive rider change for me. I like 10-6-4. You're going to go 10-3-9. I know there's a couple of guys that's on the Curlin Gray that they like a lot. And then who else would you use if you're spreading in your supers in here?
I think the 7 can be used with Franklin. Counter offer come out of the Sam F. Davis. Didn't run bad. Has some good turf races back there. Broke his maiden on the grass at Churchill. Ian Wilkes is that kind of trainer. Drop him back, let him run home. So if you're looking for an underneath horse, you got a rider that's going to try hard, a trainer that trains like that, and a horse that wants to run like that. So maybe counter offer can be 10-15-1 and hit 3rd or 4th for the super high 5 type deal. Because closers are going to hit the board. And those kind of, because I think some like it Hot Brown, if the race runs like I'm thinking, at the head of the lane, he's going to draw away by 3 or 4, and it's going to be a matter of who can come late to pick up the pieces.
Who do you think's going to go? Your Heps trainer? You think that horse will go?
Yeah, I think 5-Star General, the 3 is going to go. I think Dynamic Racer on the rail is going to go. And then maybe the 8 goes a little bit, 12th of Neverland. But I think the 10 is going to sit about 3rd or 4th on the outside. and just wait and then explode. Unless he would somehow get way hung up on the first turn, but going a mile and an eighth, you got so much time to get in position, and with his natural speed, I just don't see, unless he gets left in the gate,
Right.
I don't see how he's not third or fourth down the backside, and if he is, I think he's just the best horse.
Yeah, shame on him. So I'm going to spread as well. I'm even going to throw the maiden in for the coach. I mean,
Oh, my.
he's coming in. I'm using him in my supers and super high fives. He's won this race a couple of times. Now we go back to 95 Serena Song and 83 to Marfa, but he sends his horse in here. He'll be
Showing our
closing.
age, we know. I think I was here for both of them.
I was too. I can tell you where I was for both of them. So that takes us to the 12th and final race on this wonderful stakes field card here. We're giving away just over $700,000 in purse money. Liked a couple of horses in the last race. I thought it was, as Dave Weaver would say, ice cold. But the 8 is scratched, Acco Lady. So 7, I'm just going to single on my pick 4s. I didn't think there was anybody else in the race. 7, Bye Bye Bullies. She's been second in each of her last 2 starts. I think she's a standout in here. With the 8 out, I end up going for the 12, Princess Kaya. She's coming out of the same race and was on debut going a mile. I think she'll move forward off that effort. Has a couple of works since then. In fact, 4 works since then, most recently a bullet at the training center. And then after that, I added the 6, Linda D on the stretch out. I think she'll like the added distance.
Yeah, I think you're on the right one. I think the 7 could be a single, but I hate singling in the last race. So I'll have that horse on 50% of my tickets, but I will have the 1 on some tickets for George Leonard. I think that horse has got a big chance in here. And then the sleepers, I think the 6 is a sleeper, Linda D, 15 to 1, 1-start horse.
Had an excuse on debut.
And I think the 10, Sailor's Cap for Tom Drury, another one that, had a little bit of an excuse, didn't break. Both 1-start horses, both going to be 10 or 15 to 1. That's the kind of horse to end a pick 4 that you just want to have a chance to upset the favorite. The favorite's going to be 2 to 5.
Everybody's single, yeah.
I
And they're
can't.
going to single the race before.
I can't single Julie Burke. I just can't. I just can't do it. I have to take other horses.
I agree.
Extra ticket's fine.
Yeah.
Only ticket, no way,
No shot.
no shot.
Okay. There we go. That's our opinions for this 12 race card. We've been pretty hot here as of late. Play along with us. We'll be back on set all day. In addition to Dan and I, Tony Cacciatore will be gracing us with his expertise. And he crushed him in the Battaglia last time he was on. He gave out the big trifecta. And we look forward to his picks today as well. 12 races, first post in 21 minutes. Good luck.